Less than 50% of you will make it to the end of this video, and frankly, if you don't have the patience to get through a pretty short YouTube video about tuning drums, you probably don't have the patience to actually learn how to tune your drums or do much of anything else. But all is not lost. All we need to do is focus on what it means to be patient and give ourselves the opportunity to actually learn something new. There are a few things that go into really effectively learning something new, and they include wanting to learn it, they include having good instruction or good information to learn from, but the big elephant in the room is the patience to effectively integrate that information and turn it into knowledge. The reason we are deciding to talk about this today is because we are getting a tremendous amount of feedback from viewers who clearly have not watched the entirety of the video that they're commenting on and have, by virtue of that, not understood what we were trying to say and gotten, frankly, pretty triggered and up in arms about what they think we're trying to say. This leads us to probably the biggest puzzle when it comes to improving at anything, and it is, how do you summon the patience to focus on something long enough to actually get that information inside of you and turn it into something you can use? The world that we live in today is virtually made of distractions, whether it's our phones or the social media on those phones, all the things that we feel like we need to get done, all the people that we feel like we need to get back to in an expeditious way, or even just the general workload of existing in this era. This can lead us to finding focus very difficult to maintain, even around something that we're really interested in improving at and ultimately mastering. When it comes to something as in front of us as tuning our drums, all of us want to sound good. All of us want our drums to sound good. So how is it that it's so hard to maintain the focus enough to simply watch a video that contains the information that you need in order to improve at it? This can feel like a hopeless situation that we're in, but in reality, there's a tremendous amount of strategy available to us to help guide us toward having a better experience with learning, with improving, whether it's tuning our drums, playing our drums, or anything else that you want to do in your daily life. The first place that we try to exercise patience here when we're working with our instruments is in the realm of experimentation. We want to make sure that we are moving slowly enough and taking the time to really understand each of the steps along the way and the effects that those steps are having on the ultimate product of the tuning that we're doing. This is no different than practicing something technique-wise or groove-wise that you want to improve at. You have to go slowly, and you have to make sure that you mark yourself along the way and keep track of what's improving, what's changing, and turn that into knowledge that you can repeat. Experimentation can fuel curiosity, which can in turn fuel more experimentation and bring you into a cycle where the patience that was required for this process becomes an exciting part of it, because the overall holistic experience gets us where we're looking to go and gives us a journey that's enjoyable along the way. If this is starting to sound a little too philosophical and cloudy, understand that why we feel that way sometimes, and particularly around this subject, is that we live in an instant gratification society now, and we are used to getting quick answers to short questions and moving on to the next thing. Everything around us is geared toward that kind of lifestyle. This can lead to an environment where we hear a lot of oversimplification, glossing over things, generalizing, and making broad sweeping statements like metal drums sound like metal and wood drums sound like wood. It's necessary for us to make space and hold space for the possibility that we need to go a little bit deeper and grow a larger kind of understanding if we really want to know our instrument and be able to manipulate the sound of it to get what we're looking for. We invite you today to consider the possibility that you need to change a few things about your experimental environment and your learning environment when it comes to improving drum tuning, since that's what we do here. First step, let's limit distraction. Let's get away from the phone. Let's get away from anything that can intrude and possibly take us out of the zone when we're really focused on listening to individual tension rods or considering the interval between the heads, for instance. Number two, let's consider writing down what we come up with as we go. I keep a journal for a lot of different things, and that can include how I ended up with a certain drum sound that I really liked and things that happened along the way that were interesting and possibly influencing it. You can get a similar result and similar utility out of recording your progress as well, not just the end result, but anywhere along the way, even with something as simple as your cell phone, simply so that you have a record of where you were and how you got there. Third, and overarchingly most important, we want to take this patient time to start to generate trust in what we're hearing and our personal opinion of the quality of that sound. One of the largest things that we see here on the internet when we are thinking about making videos and studying our instrument is the prevalence of players, people in general, needing external validation and confirmation that the thing that they did is right and good and true and authentic. The truth of the matter is that if you need someone else to tell you that the sound you're making is good, what that really speaks to is a lack of trust in yourself, or frankly, a lack of experience that will build that trust that you know what you've got in front of you and that it's good or that it's not good. This is a perfect time to remind ourselves and anyone watching that the journey is just as important as the destination. If you manage to somehow skip over the journey and magically accidentally arrive at the destination, you will not have learned the experience along the way that will build the trust that the thing at the end is what you were looking for. It's also worth noting that without the journey, we can't repeat the destination. If it was good, if we love it, then surely we're going to want to be able to get there again. The component of self-trust is probably the largest message that we want everyone who has made it to the end of the video here to take from this. Getting away from the idea that we need anybody else to tell us that what we're doing is valid, and instead take the time, the patience, and the experimentation to choose for ourselves, take our agency back, and decide that we love a thing, even if other people don't like it, because that doesn't matter. We got to start with the idea that we know what it is, that we love it, and that is our personal expression. If the lifestyle that you currently lead feels really high speed and like you're bouncing all over the place, consider the possibility of taking tuning as an opportunity to slow down and move to a more meditative, more restorative, and more relaxed place. Regardless of the experiment being successful or anything else, it can be a chance to just slow everything down, integrate with your instrument, and step away from all of that chaos that's affecting you in the rest of your life. Every single one of us can benefit from this kind of approach to some aspect of our life, whether it's drum tuning or some other hobby that you might engage in. We all need space to move a little bit slower and get away from being constantly overwhelmed by the world that we live in right now. And there's no better place to do that than with this instrument that we all love so much. If you made it to the end of the video with us here, thank you, congratulations. This is actually, it's not a joke. This is a really important exercise, and consider this an opportunity to move toward a healthier place and make learning, integrating knowledge, and getting a beautiful sound out of your drums just a little bit easier.